unlike today, we could see them being punished. We could see police. They were even at the forefront on the street. The likes of Diki Mwananzeki could go to the street na walipigwa sana. Wengine hata huwa wanaonyesha, and these some of which iliwafanya wapelekwe mpaka Nyayo House for the torture. The famous Nyayo House. Some of them were tortured there because of fighting for or pushing for multi-party democracy. That as it may, or as it were, after managing to force the government or to force Moi to cede to the ground, to cede to the demands, we are where we are. Raila was part of it. They included the politicians. Some of them were Raila, Odinga, and Matiba of then. So they fought, and this is what we are now enjoying. Remember then it was even difficult for Kenyans to express themselves. The moment you are found to talking ill about the government, you are told that even the walls have ears. That was the saying then, that hata kuta zina masikio. You don't have to speak ill about the government and the Moi's government then. But I'm very happy that with the achievement, all the fight, all the then clergies and politicians fought and brought forth for us is what we are now enjoying at the moment. With the culmination of the 2010 Constitution. There is that freedom of expression, as we do enjoy. Picketing is there, and this is what we must fight for, to try and defend, protect. Some of them, if we let some of these politicians continue with the way they are attacking those who are the voice, who appears as a voice of the people, definitely where we'll be going back to those dark days whereby people could not speak. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have to keep encouraging, and the clergies, telling them that they are speaking for Kenyans. We have to continue encouraging the opposition that they are speaking for Kenyans. We have to speak for everybody who is the Peter for giving us this platform. We are all expressing our views. We are all giving out our opinion. We are telling the world that this is what is hurting us. This is what is hurting the humanity. This is what is affecting Kenyans. You can, I understand that even the diaspora, those who went out to get good, to seek for green pasture and probably come back to invest in their homeland. We are telling them that even as you remit your income back home, remember things are going south. It is not that good. Kenya is about to be auctioned, and probably if you have been saving your money in a bank, it might be detained, and you might not be having access as you may require. You might, in a few, be required to seek authority from the bank so that you can be able to access the money that belongs to you. So what the clergies are doing is actually the aspiration of all of us and every one of us across across the board. You know, you talked about the effect of employees when the introduction of 1.5% levy, housing levy, you know, that one affected the employers. If you have, for instance, 1,000 employees and you have to pay them probably, let's say, gross gross income of 30,000. You know, if you compute 1.5% per every employee, that translates to about 450 Kenya shillings. If you have about 1,000 employees, let's say, as a company, you'll have to remit every month to the government 450K, 450,000 money, which has been introduced to you without your knowledge, without your consent. It has been forced to you. So these are some of the issues that are bedeviling Kenya. These are some of the things that we are saying that they cannot be pushed down our throat. We are saying that, yes, as we might be willing to pay taxes, as we might be willing to chip in terms of building our nation, then we have to, again, see where our monies are going. When we are told that we don't have monies to settle the NHIF dues that were accrued then, and you know, this government, when it was coming to place, they told us that they are coming to correct the ills that were in previous government, and now they are telling us that they cannot because of the ills, you know, the debt that was left to them by the previous government. Then what was it that they were coming to correct? Yes, was this not part of it? You know, it is, you know, they were brought into place, they were brought into office in guise of pretense. You know, they were brought into place out of sympathy, and they would like to continue sorting for or seeking for this sympathy as times goes. You know, miaka inaenda, we are now 2 years down the line. 2 years down the line, actually we are in the third year, yet there is no tangible project, tangible, you know, project that you can be able to accredit this government to. You know, it is that worse. So that is why we are saying that we must continue calling out this government and tell it that even as they attack the bishop, remember, if I may jog your memory, a few weeks ago, before yesterday, we saw the what do you call them? The evangelist, the evangelist of what we call streamline, you know, no, it's running away. But the evangelist, we saw them when they were trying to call out the government and telling the government that they are not doing well. This is a government of fight. What followed later is that they, in fact, threatened evangelists and told them that they have to be reporting to OCSs and the area chiefs for any sermon that they are preparing for every Sunday. You know, that is part of what we are referring to, gagging clergies and gagging church leaders. You know, what is now making this government so bitter about our bishops from Catholics is, one, they have no control to them. They have no control. They don't have hand in terms of the projects that are happening in their churches. They don't invite them. Catholics don't invite them for harabis unlike other churches, the local churches that we have. Number two is that these clergies control a huge number of Kenyans, a huge electoral constituents, and they are aware that if the same happen, again, it's going to be very difficult for them when it comes to 2027. They know very well that it's going to be an uphill, and once the masses turn against them, especially led by the church, it will be an uphill for them. So they are aware that, again, the church has discredited them, having said that they are the one who brought and prayed them into office. The moment the church is now withdrawing the support, this whole system of governance is now becoming an isolated rot, and that is why they cannot sit pretty as they watch the church and yes, the church body exposing them and telling them the truth. I will still say that if they owe hospitals that belongs to churches money, let them not come here as a government and tell us that they are doing so because of the business that they are doing the government. They are the one who empaneled those hospitals who belongs to churches. They should pay them. That is a service that was offered to them. Yes, let them not come out here and cry, win like you and me, a commoner. They have that instrument of power. Ruto, I think today said that some of these clergies, some of them are not enlightened enough. You see, I don't know how he managed to measure the quality of the education. And that is something that is actually bedeviling this nation, where you degrade and derogate other people because you have you know you have some you think that you are more educated than them. You think that you have you can say everything. I mean, you are the Mr. Know Everything. You know, you cannot wait to be given instruction. And not even instruction, but advice. You cannot listen to other people's opinion. So if that is the case, then you are not the right person to be on that office, which is which is supposed to be held with utmost respect. So, as a concerned Kenyan, I would like to say clear, and I would like to state categorically that the attack on the clergymen was uncalled for. It wasn't even, it was just one letter signed by over 28 clergies. But you see, the response and attack from all sectors and corners of the government is uncalled for. It's demeaning to the side of the government. That is not the way to react. It's not the way to act. The government should always be proactive, not reactionary. Let them solve the issues that are affecting our comrades in university. Let them solve the evils which they are referring to teething problem. I don't think teething problem, because even this she and sha is yet to be born. They forced the birth of she and sha. They could have given it time. How did it develop to that extent of having teeth? So there's no teething problem here. We are dealing with something that ought not to be even here. Let the government stop pretending and hiding behind blame game and telling us every time that whenever there is an issue, it is the former. It is the former. It is where were they before? That is not the way to solve the problems that are affecting us. Tell us that, yes, we have heard you. This is what we are doing. Yes, that is not what the government is doing. So, my dear comrade, comrade and Kenyans, we have a serious task ahead of us on when is the date? Next week, we must occupy Parliament so that we can be able to send that message and tell these gentlemen that and women that we are completely disgruntled, we are completely discontented, and we are dissatisfied with their service, the work that we sent them to those offices do for us Kenyans is completely below par, and we need to tell them that they need to resign and let the rightful owners of those offices occupy the office, and that is the sovereignty of these people, who is the Kenyan people, the Kenyan people. Thank you, Peter.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mau Mau. Academia, are you there? Are you still there? Academia ni kama alienda bwana.
Yeah,
huko. Oh. I wanted to ask you. You said earlier on in the morning you are fire, and now you're better. Maybe talk to us. What are your thoughts on all this? Naogopa Wakenya akisema amekasirika bwana.
Hata mama alikasirika. Ulisikia Ajuga akisema alikuwa fire, na kila mtu alikuwa breathing fire hiyo time, but tukakuja tu tukarelax. It is now weekend, tumeingia weekend, so hakuna haja ya kukasirika. To enjoy to Sabbath for the SDS people, to welcome Sabbath for those who are going on Sunday, like myself, unangoja. So I think Mau ameongea vitu mingi, nimeongea kizungu mingi leo. Sio sasa itakuwa aje? Wacha nijaribu Kiswahili. Sasa hii mambo ya 21st occupying parliament. This idea of occupying parliament, the intention is to, what exactly are we going to do when we say we are going to occupy parliament? Are we going to occupy parliament the sense like on 25th of June, or we just do it like in a normal, people just go there running battle with the police? At the end of the day, we go home and all do the just. So I think it is good. I'm not against occupying the parliament. And I'm also not against the church. But this issue of the church, you see, the reason why we have a topic to discuss about the bishops and all that church. I don't want to call it the bishops. Let's address this like the church, the voice of the church. Is better that way than just picking a group of people out of that pool. So the church in its entirety should come out and voice, or speak in one voice, to address the challenges that affect Kenyans in unison. Not it is, because you realize that it is always the Catholic group that comes out to speak over the years. I haven't seen any piece or part of the denomination that is consistent in calling out bad governance as the Catholic or our brothers on the other side normally do. I don't know whether because they are the majority or they are well known and all that stuff. I don't know. But I think all of us should be joining this cause. Now, my second point, we've tried Mandamano, most of the things that people enjoy, even before we were born. I'm told people went on the street. So it appears like The language in Kenya to bring any change or any form of transformative change is for any particular group that is grieved to go to the street. But on this, I think we all Kenyans must come out to condemn the wrong that the government is doing, because it is a government of people, for the people, by the people. So we can't vote in the government, then sit back and then accuse the other side. Whether you voted for the Kenya Kwanza or not, that is, they call it, it is one under the bridge. It is expected, not everybody will support your man or your person, but that is why it is democratic. We go to elections and elect people we think can represent us or can do what is right for us. Now, the focus is good governance. So all of us should unite to fight only one cause, to get the right people to get us good services, regardless of your background, because kama ni njaa, mwenye njaa ikiwa Nyanza, the same njaa iko Mombasa, the same njaa iko Garissa, the same njaa iko Central, the same. So nobody is going to the shop to buy at a cheaper price because they support government or they oppose government. When people are in dire situation, all of us suffer. And we only have two groups. We have the rich people and the poor people. So, but the poor people are the majority. I wonder how come these poor people have not realized that they have the power to change things through the ballot. Because I love things that are done structurally or in a structured way, or which is legal way. Why can't we accept PP that if we can't do a revolution, that it is initiative that nobody has come forth to initiate, it is from within the people or from the people themselves to come out in unity and demand for good governance. Then if that is not possible, because these people are using divide and rule method, people will go straight, you realize that it will only be felt in Nairobi or maybe major towns. The rural is quiet now. And that's why it is very difficult to change it, because the moment other parts of the country are quiet, waiting for the Nairobi people or Mombasa or these big cities to act, we cannot actualize that to the end. We must activate from the farthest end, from the farthest village, coming all the way to capital city. And it is a cause for Kenyans, by Kenyans, to get a good governance. The moment we cannot achieve that, let us go back to the drawing board. Let us mobilize our people like we used to do on Twitter. People go get, because you can fight it in so many ways. There are people who will go and sit on 21st, there are people who will sit at back. And the fact that people are at home, they are also helping those who are in front to fight. So all of us fight the same cause. So, but we must also be very strategic in the sense, if we want to achieve good governance, we must look the ways on how to get it. If it is through ballot, let us mobilize people. Let us go for the IEBC to be constituted. And we know that is a big issue. So let us push things that can work our ways legally and in good time, so that we have them in place, in readiness for a change that we normally have at the end of or after every 5 years. Anything that can happen before the end of 5 years or before 2027 for now can only be done by the Kenyans themselves in large numbers, in form of revolution or any petition to remove president or any other thing. And the moment you subject yourself to process, you must abide by the rules of the game. Like now, I had Madeira people are collecting signatures and all that. They can impeach their MP in whichever manner, but that impeachment might be legal. So after collecting your signatures, the next step is what you should focus on, not collecting, because that you can do. So after that, what next? So those hurdles that may make people not to achieve what they want is what we need to focus on, the constitution of IEBC, because we can only have legal election when IEBC in place. Any other route is either revolution or uncouth route, which we are not ready to go today or now. So what is the solution? Mobilize people. Let us give people civic education on good governance, what the bishops are now calling out the government whenever they are wrong. And we continue with this civic education to the end and ensure that we explain to people what the government ought to do. And when they don't do that, the rights of the people. In fact, we should be very focused on what, as individual, your right to hold government to account, and you are denied that right because you are not aware of your right. So let us make people be aware of what they are supposed to do and understand the power they hold in their hand that can change this country. Once people are aware of that, like now, very many people are aware of their rights, as opposed to maybe before 2022 or before 2024. What happened on 25th, and from 25th to today, you can easily see the engagement that people have had and the awareness that people have. And with the young people, the college people and all that, they are aware. So this is what we can capitalize on and ensure that we get the right people in place. Otherwise, if we say that we want to go to street and expect church to be in front, because all of us attend church, most of us attend church. So when we say we want church people to go, do we want the clergies to be in front, or we want church people to go? Because even myself, I'm a church person, only that I'm not a clergy, or I'm not a bishop or reverend or pastor. So we must also be, if we want pastors to go, let us call them, okay, we want to do this thing, but we want pastors to be in front, and we follow them. And you cannot force them to be front if they are not willing to be. So let us not hide under people. So we push the church because we think the church has not played their role, or they are supposed to do that. So we push them because that is what we want them to do. Let it be inborn within themselves. If they feel like going to the street as what they did yesterday or any other day, it is well and good. But we don't push people to do with that they don't want to do. Because change, you cannot force somebody for a change. But if it comes for everybody. It sweeps across the board. Nobody will be left. So, Pepe, that is what I can say.
Okay, thank you so much for that as well. I want to say something in regards to the point that I posted out there. So 21st of this month, the president, for those who are wondering why people are going to the streets on the 21st, on 21st of this month, the president is expected, according to the constitution, to give what we call a State of the Nation address. Now, not in the State of the Nation address, according to the constitution, it says that the president is supposed to give the country a report in an address in the joint parliament once a year, where he tells the country on the progress of the country. So yes, that is the day. That will be 21st. Last year it was 9th of November, but he has delayed it this year to 29th. We'll be hearing more lies, of course. Price of unga, fertilizer. What else do you guys expect will be in that speech? Probably come into the mic and tell me. I see a couple of other guys on the mic. You can on the listener panel. You can request the microphone and talk to us. Earlier on, I don't understand why we do not have a singular voice, and that is one thing that has made even infiltration of the organization of the movement easier, because as you can hear, the Catholic bishop was there, and they have spoken with one voice. In their silence, they were united in their silence, and also in their voice, they were united. When it comes to us, we speak what we want to speak. Yani, leo unasema oh, leaderless, nini. Kesho mtu akiongea vibaya tena, oh, you are on their neck. You see, and that is how we actually managed to sabotage ourselves, out of this whole level of control that we had. So as we are coming out, guys, we need to stop pointing out our fingers so much and forgetting our role. So as you also come out and say, wewe ni nani, wewe ni unafanya nini? Ask yourself, what am I doing in this movement? So I was saying, you went to the ballot in 2022. Did you know that in 2024 there will be a Gen Z movement? Will you say that there was no think there was going to be a Gen Z movement? So you say, let me mess my country up for 2 years first of all, as I wait for the Gen Zs to come and liberate the country, so that you can be mad at me when I say, if you voted for this government, you voted for 5 years, you voted for it, you chose. Ulisema kwamba hii miaka 5 ni yangu ya hii nchi, okay? So the only way you can redeem yourself is getting out. Hakuna njia ingine mtu wangu. Hakuna vile unaweza sema eti sasa Yes, as the guilt is consuming you as it should, also kindly remember that you chose 5 years of this and you did not even know there was going to be a Gen Z movement. So what were you planning for your country? And have some shame. Because when it comes to 2027 and all that, we also will be requiring your brain. So if you decide to be that emotional also, you see how you're going to commit the future generation to a lot of troubles. Yeah, I'm talking to you that voted because you're punishing Uhuru Kenyatta. Idiot. You set us up. And we say these things. And the worst part is,